Do you want a 12 volt system for your full drive or camping setup? Well, today I'm going to make it fast, simple, and hopefully really beginner friendly. Let's get into it. Now there's really three things that you want to look at when you're doing your 12 volt setup, and that is how are you going to hold your power, how are you going to charge your power, and what are you going to do with your power. Now for me personally, I run a fridge and lights full time. However, when I'm camping, I temporarily use a 12 volt coffee machine, a 12 volt oven, and I also charge my devices. Okay, so how are you going to hold your power? Well, a battery. Now there are two types of batteries you can look into. The first is a lithium battery and the second is an AGM battery. Now what's the big difference between those two batteries? Well, the biggest difference about lithium and AGM is lithium is a lot lighter, and you can also use about 90% of the battery's size before you need to recharge it again. However, AGM is a lot heavier and you can only use 50 to 60% of the battery's size before you need to recharge it, and it starts damaging the battery. So if you're looking for a setup that's similar to mine, I run a 100 amp slimline lithium battery, and I run all those things that I mentioned earlier. Now once you've decided what battery you're going to go with, how are you going to keep it charged? Well, once again, you've got two options you can choose from. You can either charge it via solar or from your alternator in the front of your car. Now, no matter what option you decide to go with, it's very important and wise that you buy what's called a DC-DC charger. And what it does is it makes sure that the voltage your secondary battery is charging is safe for that battery from the car, but it also stops your secondary battery from running your car battery flat. So very important. Mine actually has a solar input as well, so I can charge my secondary battery from either solar or car at the same time. What's also super important is that you get a little voltage reader so you can see how much percentage your battery has, because you never want to run flat, and if you need to just run your car for half an hour to give it a little boost, then sometimes that's all that you need to do. Now it's not a necessity, but it's a reasonably cheap mod which is super helpful, and that is just getting a little control panel so that you can see and use your 12 volt efficiently. It gives you a bunch of pre-wired switches, pre-wired charging ports and sockets, along with Anderson plugs, solar inputs, a voltage meter, and all the fuse boxes you need for all those switches. You can save a lot of the mess and hassle by doing it yourself, and it's a reasonably cheap mod which can add to your 12 volt system. Make sure you subscribe, guys, because the next video I'll be posting is on how to actually wire up your very own 12 volt system. Now, like all things, go do your research. There's always an expensive and a cheaper option for everything that you buy. So go work out what you want for yourself, and by the time you've decided, my next video will probably be out, and then we can wire this thing up together for your own rigs. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.